How Vosh and Shoe on Head ruined the online lab. You guys saw this, right? This was everywhere. I went on Twitter one day. God damn, dude, the power that Medium articles have is insane to me. It's incredible. There was this big... So apparently what happened is this one person on Twitter went on ahead and made a Medium article. And they were like, ooh, I don't like Vosh and Shoe on Head very much. Wouldn't it just be so awful and mean if they made a response video to this? And, you know, normally I'm not here for taking the bait, but I actually thought might be a little bit fun to go over, okay? I should write a Medium article? What an excellent point! But, as you can see, if you type Medium Vosh into Google, you will get a profile up here. Then you'll get a Medium article complaining about me. And then... when you type Vosh dog pill into Google, you'll find wisdom, okay? You'll find wisdom. All right? Anyone can write a Medium article, guys. Don't fall for the hype. Stick with me. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the author of this Medium article knew how much her writing would blow up, because even though she opened up by saying, "Haha, wouldn't it just be so mean and bad and dirty if everyone came over and made fun of me for my article," she ended up having to, like, delete the article and private her Twitter. I assume this is because of brigading from Shoe on Head's audiences. So this is a web archive link, which is why the pictures don't work. This one's caption says ContraPoints, and then in parentheses, Natalie. Oh, wait, you can just... Wait, how does that work? Wait, how... Wait, how does... Well, there's me. Wait, how does it... If it doesn't embed, why would it... I'm in. I give Shu, Vosh, and any other media personality full permission to respond to this article. I want their audiences to know exactly how destructive they are. I know for a fact I'm not the only person who feels this way. That's true. There are a lot of people who think this way, okay? So I'm laying it open to you guys, okay? I'm interested in your opinions. How valid are these criticisms? I was a small YouTuber in 2015 who created video essays on the various ways in which the media we consume affects society's view of women. I didn't plan on becoming famous or anything, I just had a lot to say and wanted to say it. I only had 500 subscribers and only 5 videos up before an anti-feminist YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers called Bearing made a response video to one of my videos. I was swarmed. I read this as dog-pilled. Dogpiled and harassed for days. Whore, feminazi, cunt, snowflake, T-slur were some of the words thrown at me. Is this author trans? That's gonna be interesting. I was called fat, ugly, stupid, and worthless for days. I deleted my entire channel out of fear. I was 18 years old. It was then I realized there was no safe space on YouTube for outspoken feminists. Slowly, new left-wing channels began to pop up. Channels like ContraPoints. They paved the way for what is now known as BreadTube, but not only because ContraPoints catered to those same men who drove me off YouTube. The Chud Whisperer, they called her. Now this is a criticism I get all the fucking time, dude. People act like because I'm good at de-radicalizing conservatives, that my entire community is full of conservative. I actually had someone yelling at me on Reddit about this the other day. I guess I don't know how people get that impression, because I see my, I mean, I see my chat right here, you know, I see my chat, and I know what my Discord is like, and I see my YouTube comments, and I feel like I've got a pretty wholesome community on the whole. So I don't really know where that comes from. It's the same with ContraPoints community, honestly, but I liked ContraPoints. I thought she was smart and funny. I loved her extravagant costume designs and the theatrical elements in her videos. Every video was like watching a Broadway play. The online left started to grow and flourish. Left-wing videos were not getting brigaded and downvoted to hell. There was finally a sense of we might actually win this culture war. It felt good and comfortable in the space we now call BreadTube. Despite being the BreadTube queen, there was something off about Contra. I finally realized what it was in 2017 when a picture of her with YouTuber Shoe on Head was posted to Twitter. And then you can see a little picture here of Contra. I think this would be before ContraPoints transition socially, right? I think is wearing a shirt called Triggered, and there's Shoe on Head. Yeah, I believe she was non-binary back in 2017. Yeah, like genderqueer time. Shoe on Head, aka June, if that is her real name, was and still is the most popular anti-feminist YouTuber on the platform. Men love to see a pretty woman validate their opinions. Men love to see pretty women tear down other women. Men love submissive, youthful, she's 30, women who cater to their misogynistic worldview and validate their bigotry. See, a woman agrees with me. Shu became famous for tearing down other women, becoming a pick-me, amassing a total of 1 million subs in 4 years. 4 years of hating outspoken, strong women like me. 4 years of profiting off my pain. So I want to clarify something really quickly, okay? I'm not a Shu simp. I've been very critical of Shu's rhetorical strategies in the past, but I generally think she does good more than bad. One thing that's interesting to me is people call Shoe on Head an anti-feminist YouTuber, which I think might in some ways be an accurate description. This is the Brainlet channel. This is the politics channel that she does. Shoe on Head is known, I think, for criticizing liberal feminism. There's something, fuck me, dude. Shoe on Head had a conversation with the serfs, and the serfs told me what she said, and I think it was something along the lines of, Shoe on Head something like, I was criticizing feminism because I didn't have the language to realize that I wanted to criticize liberalism, or something like that. And I think that's actually a really accurate description of the direction that Shu's content has gone. Because Shu has always criticized feminism, but she's always criticized pop feminism. It's always been feminists who do like shit like the man-spreading craze, or like free bleeding, or feminists who are like hashtag kill all men, or feminists who want more female drone pilots and shit like that, you know? She doesn't like the commodification of femininity in like a liberal framework. Now, is there like, does she have enough like right-leaning people in her audience that are too stupid to appreciate the distinction and they interpret this as actually disliking feminism? Yeah, sure, of course. And I think that's legitimate criticism of her, but I do think it's really, really important to recognize that there's a big difference between an anti-feminist like bearing. I mean, we all know bearing, right? $542,000 subs. Feminist veganism, hashtag #MooToo. There's a big difference between reactionary, like full-on reactionary, like basically fascist YouTubers criticizing feminism because they don't like women. Yeah, it's the Ransona type, you know? Yeah. Australia burns, feminists most effective. They're still doing like the men are funnier than women, says science. See, this guy doesn't just dislike neoliberal feminism, he doesn't like women. I don't think I've ever, in all the videos I've ever seen of Shu, seen her actually dismiss women's rights as a concept. Like, ever. I've seen a fair number of it. I don't think I've ever heard her say, like, dismiss the idea of women having a right. I don't think that I've ever heard Shu even say, like, women haven't been oppressed. It's possible she used to say that back in, like, 2016, 17, but her content's pretty darn progressive now. Anyway, I just think it's really important to frame, like, what type of anti-feminist we're talking about here. I have a lot more to say about grift on Head, but I'll save that for another entry. People call, everyone online gets called a grifter, dude. It's really funny. People call me a grifter. How the fuck does that work? Who's less grifty than me? I get in trouble every other day for saying shit people don't like to hear because I have no fucking internal, like, valve. There's literally, like, nobody who's like on the left who's more willing to just fucking burn bridges by criticizing. I literally looked at Sean's tweets and thought he was being deliberately vague, so I got myself in trouble by criticizing him publicly for it. And like lost subs over it. I don't know. But people will call anyone like a grifter, you know what I mean? I love blood. Enter YouTuber Vosh, a stereotypical, overweight, bearded, okay, white, all right, pansexual, lol, leftist, feminist man. A debate bro like Destiny, but more insufferable. I think I'm about as insufferable as Destiny. Vosh, aka known by his Hibernian codename Ian, appeared on the scene seemingly out of nowhere and blew up pretty much overnight. Totally not view botting and sub botting. Thank you for the compliment. It's the king of bread too. Not pictured here, my crown. It's there though. Vosh calls himself a free market socialist, and on top of just being the most unlikable man on YouTube, man, jeez. I haven't read this before, you know. Has a disgusting history of sexual harassment. He fantasizes about horse. His nudes are online. He uses Tinder to hook up. He uses slurs regularly and believes it's okay to say the N-word. Wait. This is you know when you're reading alt-writers and they're listing off like a bunch of like degeneracy things, you know? And you're like, wait, but what's the issue, you know? That like the alt-writer will be like, and they have anal sex, and they have transitioned, and they're in a polyamorous relationship, and you're like, okay, like, yeah, cool, right? So like he fantasized about horsecock. Uh-oh, based. His nudes are online. Uh-oh, based. He uses Tinder to hook up. Uh-oh, based. He uses slurs regularly. And yet, for some reason, he's embraced by the online left. I cannot escape him. Dude, I have less than 100,000 subs. I can't be that hard to escape. Jesus. As Vosh's popularity grew, so did Shoe-on-Head's interest in him. Wait. Are we like shipping this? No, I'm pretty sure Shoe-on-Head just like saw my videos and thought they were cool. She was messaging me back when I had like 20,000 subs. Shoe-on-Head had over 1 million at the time. I don't know if she was like she was interested in my popularity. Of course, Vosh was interested in her too because she's pretty and popular and white and straight, yada yada. First of all, I'm pretty sure Shoe-on-Head is bi. In fact, I know for a fact Shoe-on-Head is bi. Second of all, is the implication here that I don't go after non-white people? Do we want to look at my lineup? Do we want to look at my numbers? Do I need to pull up my fucking Polaroid flipbook? Like, okay. This is really weird. What's funny is this is actually a really anti-feminist sentiment, too. The idea that men and women can't be friends with one another without there being some sort of ulterior sexual motive is usually used by people like Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is fan like that. Like, we don't know actually what the rules are. When men and women work together in a workplace, we don't know. Historically, men and women haven't been together like this. We don't know the rules. That's JP stuff. Shu tends to gravitate towards whatever dominant male is floating around whatever community she's involved in. Is this the feminist version of calling a black person an Uncle Tom? First, it was Sargon of Akkad, a literal white nationalist. Then it was her now fiancé, Armored Skeptic, her porn-sick BDSM daddy, and fellow right-wing anti-feminist chud. You like porn? And now it's Vosh. Wait, have I replaced Armored Skeptic? I thought, wait, aren't Shu and Armored Skeptic like married or something? I don't actually know if they're married or fiancé or what. The implication here is that Shu was like the girlfriend of Sargon and then the girlfriend of Armored Skeptic, and now she's my girlfriend? Like, you can't put like work colleague, fiancé, friend. You can't put them in the same list. This is typical for ooh submissive pick-me's. What is a pick-me? Is this like a dog whistle? What does anyone know what this means? This feels like a femcel terminology, or like TERF terminology. Would this be like a woman who just wants men's attention or something like that? It's a TERF thing? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, yeah. You have to spot those terms, you know? You know how this is one of the things that I think really defines the incel community? It's when you're looking at incel shit, when you're peeping out that incel shit, you know? Like you can barely read what they're talking about unless you like know the terminology. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of the same in the TERF community. They have a lot of really weird language. Building your own special like vocabulary is essential to alienating you from others, because that way when you use that terminology, other people don't understand you and you feel further ostracized from people who might be able to pull you away from like your previously held positions. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's cult language. It's the same basic thing. Shu now calls herself a social democrat, whatever that means. I'm not going to waste time Googling it. And supports Bernie. This, for some reason to the left, is a pass for her to continue to be the very obvious right-wing grifter she is. They have somehow forgotten her friendship with literal Nazis and obsession with tearing down women's rights movements. This, you know what this reminds me of? This is like when I get one thread in BreadTube that says like my stuff is pretty cool, and there's somebody in there with 73 downvotes screaming about how the left has forgotten about like my crimes to the world, you know? Like, I don't think, like, it's really weird. I think restorative justice is a really important part of being a leftist. So when your arguments against Shu are that in the past she hung out with, like, shitty people, I don't know if that's really effective, especially since she's denounced those people now. On my stream, as a matter of fact, we had that conversation. Shu also supported Bernie in 2016 when she was calling BLM a hate group, saying a black woman looked like a gorilla, and harassing a 17-year-old girl, Milo Stewart. I mean, I just harassed a 17-year-old guy, Jesse Grant, on stream, so I don't know if I'm in any position to criticize Shu. Why does she get a pass now? Because she criticizing the Democrats while Donald Trump is in office? And the GOP continues to strip our rights away. Wow, so left-wing. Slap some eyeliner on Sargon and maybe we can embrace him too. That's so weird, dude. Again, like, the implication is the only reason people are letting Shu get away with what she does is because she's a girl. That's really weird. These two grifters have destroyed the online left in a matter of months. Ooh. Ugh. Ooh, yeah. I've done more to the left than the fucking SPD ever did. Baby. I take down waves of Rosa Luxemburgs every day before breakfast. What I thought was a growing community of pro-women, here we go, pro-LGB, pro-POC community became an irony-poisoned, anti-woman, anti-POC space that would rival Stormfront. All right, I think we've jumped the shark here a little bit. If this is a troll article, I think we've jumped it right here. Pro-LGB and would rival Stormfront in the same thing. You know what's funny? I actually just got a DM from Shu today talking about this, or was it yesterday? I don't respond to my DMs that often. Okay. Has anyone heard of pink pill feminism? It's really good. It's essentially like hyper TERF, See, look at the sidebar. A radical feminist sub focused around the pink pill philosophy of lookism, female separatism, the dangers of objectification, women going their own way, and the true nature of men. This is an XX only space. XYs go to ask pink pillars. See? Trans men are welcome. Oh, at least they're consistent. Anyway, it's really interesting because this is basically like this is like a perfect analogous mirror to to like the incel MGTOW community. It's actually perfectly analogous. It's a hyper reactionary space that calls itself progressive because they orient their progressivism around their specific purported interests. It's not just femcells. It's femcells politicized and extrapolating political positions from their from their, I guess, personal suffering. Really fucking funny. I've gone through the subreddit a few times. The misery of these people gives me life. I won't lie. Holy shit, they're horrible human beings. But this is kind of like the end state of second wave feminism that I think is really like interesting. Second wave feminism kind of ended up being a fucking failure, didn't it? Like, really though, didn't it? I mean, let's think about it. Like, first wave feminism, like, you know, the suffrage movement, great, voting, fantastic. The second wave feminist movement, what did they get? They were part of the free love movement. They facilitated like an increase in birth control rights, I guess. Yeah, abortion, birth control, the pill was invented. You know what I mean? Hillary Clinton, that's right. Yeah, girl bosses. That's true. That's true though, because fundamentally, first and third wave feminism were really, really dedicated, at least in their own ways, I think, to addressing systemic inequality. Second wave feminism also did that. There's no denying that abortion rights and the reproductive rights are incredibly important, like women's issues shit. But there was also this overlying, like, I think, girl boss, like individualist liberal sentiment that has kind of permeated the movement. And one of the biggest issues with it, I think, and one of the reasons why we see so many TERFs who call themselves classical feminists or second wave feminists, is because they frame the relationship between men and women as a dichotomous and biologically essentialist one. So the reason why men are oppressive isn't because of some intersectional, you know, collection of oppressive social forces. It's actually because men are XY and our testosterone makes us want to rape and hurt people. And likewise, the reason why women have been victimized historically isn't because of a complex intersection of social factors. It's because they're XX and they're weak and submissive and blah, blah. And I mean, if that's the relationship, if that's the dichotomy that you're like putting out there in the world, then obviously you're going to end up with shit like this, right? You can't be trans friendly as long as you dichotomize and essentialize the relationship between men and women like that. They hate men too. It's not just trans women. But it is funny. Anyway, I have a feeling I would actually bet a decent sum of money that the person who wrote that article is either of this subreddit or relates to it in some way. Nothing gives me more joy, nothing gives me more power than listening to transphobes cry that they're being excluded from the left. It's very sexually gratifying to me. I do piss, I do shit. Just all over the place, you know. It does make me very happy. I wish I could debate more TERFs, dude. TERFs are really, really fun to debate because they're so fucking stupid. I wish I could have gotten that Ariel Scarcella debate, but she wasn't open about the TERF shit. She was super fucking dishonest. Like, if I had talked with her, it just would have been like, well, I believe that the SJW radical progressive youth Zoomer left is treating us poorly, or something like that. I don't think it would have been a very good discussion, which is unfortunate, but yeah. Has anyone on Twitter who is BreadTube or BreadTube adjacent been sharing this article in a good light? Not that I've seen. Though I do think I saw Christy Winter defending it. I'm pretty sure I saw Christy Winter defending it. So, I mean, there's that. But nobody likes Christy Winter. Literally nobody likes Christy Winter. The only people who like Christy Winter are Christy Winter fans. Yeah, Hard N Karen. Yeah, Hard N Karen, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Yeah. Whatever bitch wrote that article and yeah, fucking Christy Winters, like that is some like Karen, like you have to make sure you really hit it, dude. That's some arrested for hate speech in Canadian provinces tier, like Hard N. I bet Christy Winters wrote the article. I don't know if Christy Winters is openly a TERF, but whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's just really dumb. I wonder if the person who wrote that is a Britbonger. I feel like 50% of the TERFs in the English-speaking world come from England. Hey, horse me. I'll check that out in a sec. I feel like they all come from England. It's pretty crazy. Somebody sent me an article on why that was once. Like, there's some really interesting, like, collusion of social forces to have led to that. But I don't know. I'd have to go over it again. Because of Margaret Thatcher? I don't know if Margaret Thatcher did that. Anyway, just a dumb little article.